Yabos. Yabos. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I rock with you if you rock with me. Remember, subscribe is the vibe, bro. Your boy's chasing 4K. We gonna get there, though. So, yo, look. The year is 2020. It's a new draft. My New England Patriots, we're trash this year. Brady's done left. He goes to Tampa. We don't have a first-round pick. For whatever reason. I don't remember what we did with our first-round pick. But we didn't have a first-round pick that year. So, with our second selection, which is our first overall pick, we select Kyle Duggar. Behind Kyle Duggar, just a few picks back, I believe somewhere in the 50s in the second round, was this quarterback out of, goddamn it, what school he went to? Shit, I'm not even gonna feel like I remember. I don't watch college football. Listen, he either went to Alabama or Ohio. Y'all can leave in the comment section what college Jalen Hurts went to, bro. But Jalen Hurts is there, and we don't take him. We take a safety named Kyle Duggar, bro. And here's the thing. When he went to Philly, and my boys, you know what I'm saying? Because my boys, we always engage in barbershop talk. I don't know about you guys, but I love having conversations, whether it's healthy or toxic, about football or sports in general. This is just what we do. You know what I mean? We calling it barbershop talk, right? Because we never really listen to each other. We just here to out loud each other, right? So I tell them the year that they selected Jalen Hurts, that, bro, this dude's going to replace Carson Wentz. And the only reason I knew that because I was just watching a couple of highlight tapes. That's it. All I needed was a couple of highlight tapes to know that he was better than Wentz, bro. You know what I mean? And around that time, they had just signed Carson Wentz to $100 million. He arguably could have been MVP the 2019 season, but he got hurt. And then my boy, the GOAT Brady ended up taking it. So they take him. Like, this is the thing you just can't predict, bro. And why these sports personalities, you gotta listen to these guys with a grain of salt. They talk like they know what they talking about, right? They got the analytics, they got the stats. They done the research, and they got connections. They know people in big buildings, people in high places. So they know what's going on with certain players that, they just don't talk about. It's always confidential information. So they know what they're talking about. But this is the problem I have, bro. When they act like they could predict the future. I knew Jalen Hurts was going to be nice. Did I see Super Bowl? Nah. Not at all. I ain't see Super Bowl, bro. If I seen Super Bowl, this dude should have won in the first round. He should have won. Your quarterback got drafted in the second round, and in his second year as a full-time starter, he brings you to the Super Bowl. This is shit you just can't predict. There's a lot going on with Jalen Hurts, and the dude, he's there. He's there. Like it's safe to say, Jalen Hurts has arrived, bro. It's safe to say, and I don't usually give quarterbacks quantum leaps. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't. But after watching, this season go by. After watching this season go by, I had some time to really think about it. I think I'm about to put this dude top 5, man. I think I'm really about to put him top 5. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm gonna put him. There's Mahomes, you got Burrow, you got Josh Allen, you got the quintessentials. But listen, Jalen Hurts has passed Josh Allen to me. Like, he's in the Super Bowl. He's in the Super Bowl, and granted, Josh has been doing it longer. Listen, man, the man is here. He's here, and there's something about these Eagles. There's something about Jalen Hurts. You don't feel like the moment's too big for him, bro. You don't. Like, he sound like he been here before. Nah, maybe it's just me, but that's just my takeaway from a distance. But we're going to get into the media hating on Jalen Hurts because these guys swear they know what they talking about draft day. Draft day. Like, man, you know how a man's career about to end based off of where he gets drafted. Stop the cap. But let's check this out, man.
He could end up being a 4th or 5th round pick. Not early, but I think day 3 is where somebody brings him into the fold. And hey, let's face it, you're going to see what happens. Nobody's going to define what kind of quarterback Jalen Hurts is going to be. Nobody's going to know. That improves, I think, Justin Herbert will be right up there with Burrow and Tua.
You just criticized us for overhyping these quarterbacks, and then you just said they were like Drew Brees and Tony Romo. I mean, those are great quarterbacks.
The thing that this draft pick of Jalen Hurts says about Carson Wentz is that we question whether or not Carson Wentz is going to get hurt again. That's it. If Carson Wentz is healthy, nobody is worried about Jalen Hurts taking his spot. Only person on the planet Earth I have heard say that Jalen Hurts.
Yo, bro, who is Carson Wentz? Like, what year was this? This was 22. Like, who is Carson Wentz? I'm trying to figure this out. Like, they acting like this dude is Dan Marino or Tom Terrific. Who was like Carson Wentz hadn't done anything. The one Super Bowl that Philly got, they won because of Nick Foles. They won because of Nick Foles. All right, cool. If you want to say they wouldn't have been in this position if Carson Wentz didn't go like 13-3, this, that, and the third, or whatever the record was at that time. Oh, okay, fine. But the players is a completely different animal. You got to be cut from. You don't just trip into the Super Bowl, bro. You know what I'm saying? You have to earn that. You have to beat some of the best teams in your conference to get to that point. And you ain't convincing me Carson Wentz would have led him to the Super Bowl had he stayed healthy. Why? Because he had a soft schedule and he could have been MVP? MVP and Super Bowl champions are two different leagues to me, bro. Two different leagues. But they're sitting here advocating for Carson Wentz like he was him. Like,
Hurts was being drafted as Carson Wentz's replacement, meaning beating out Carson Wentz ultimately, throwing the ball better than Carson Wentz eventually, or something along those lines, is Max Kellerman. That means ain't nobody trying to hear it because you're the only one. You standing alone on a huge island with that one. Nobody's concerned about Carson Wentz losing his job to Jalen Hurts. They're concerned about Carson Wentz getting hurt and having a quarterback to go in to replace him if necessary. They like to carry 3 quarterbacks, not just 2. That's what this is about. Nothing more.
Yeah. Max, I came on this morning knowing what the topic that we were going to talk about would be, and I knew what your stance would be. I did not think that it was going to be this ridiculous. First of all, let's not go back to what was said last year, because one of us said one thing, me, and one of us said another thing, you, and one of us was proven right, and that was me. So let's not bring up last year because your name ended up on a piece of paper in a garbage bag. Second of all, you mean to tell me that the Philadelphia Eagles last summer decided to give Carson Wentz over $100 million of guaranteed money? They had that much faith in them. And then they go into the season and they lose basically everyone. And he has 6 wins when a receiver doesn't get over 75 yards. And he has no receiver over 500 yards. And he wins the division after getting that contract extension and all those circumstances. And their head coach and general manager rave about his performance and rave about his maturity. And all of a sudden you think that they're sitting there going, we need to move on from him? We need to move on from the guy that just somehow, like the Undertaker, brought our team back from the dead and led us to the playoffs? A guy that in the last 2 years, and Max, that you have said has
Jalen Rager's a
struggled
bust. If you knew then what we know now, a lot of these guys wouldn't have fallen in this situation, man. Jalen Rager, and this is the shit that Philadelphia missed on. The Eagles really could have had Justin Jefferson. The Eagles could have had Justin Jefferson and Jalen Hurts on the same team, but they went with Jalen Rager just to trade him 2 years later. That's a bust. He a bust. There ain't nothing to talk about. He a bust. But look at that. Second round, you got a quarterback that brings you to the Super Bowl, and these guys are chanting like Carson Wentz is him.
In the last 2 years, has 50 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. I will tell you this. If there is any other quarterback in the NFL in the last 2 seasons that has 50 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, like 68 completion percentage, and that organization wants to move on from that player, fire everybody, because they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. Stephen A's right.
Oh, that's a separate
This
issue.
is an insurance policy. The last 3 seasons, Carson has not finished. And no matter how great I think he is, it's 100%
Insurance
justifiable to bring in a good, healthy, developing insurance policy. This is a policy, Max, that's it.
That's absurd. By the way, if I'm on an island, I suggest some people join. This should be like Manhattan Island. Like, are people?
Nah,
are
you ain't got no one to
about
join
this?
you.
Your argument is actually.
Have
your
you heard
argument
anyone
is
say what you
actually-
said?
Or the argument is actually that no, it's just because he might get hurt. So instead of signing one of a million veteran quarterbacks who you could take as a backup, you don't have to spend a second-round pick
I'm
level
gonna kill
draft
this argument,
capital
Max.
on. Instead of doing that, you take on what you guys label a project in terms of a pass thrower, right? A project. So if Carson Wentz gets hurt, then he won't be able to take over the reins, right?
Dan Orlovsky sitting there talking about, I'm going to kill this argument. This is the classic case of listening just to respond. You're not even listening to understand what Max is telling you. You just think you so right, Dan Orlovsky, or whatever your bum-ass name is. Bro, you was trash in your NFL career, bro. You a backup quarterback in Detroit? A fart in the win career? Like, can't nobody tell me one Dan Orlovsky highlight ever. Ever. You know what I'm saying? You play for a bum-ass organization and your career was a reflection of that. Now you talking about Jalen Hurts' insurance policy. I beg your pardon? You think these dudes are coming from where they come from? Nothing? To go through the grinds of playing in college, to playing on a big platform, to getting drafted, and you think guys are just coming in the NFL to be an insurance policy? Like the nerve, some of the words that they used to describe a whole human being is never ever gonna sit right with me, bro. And look where we at today. Jalen Hurts is going to the Super Bowl, and where's Carson Wentz? Oh, all right.
Be more
Max, listen,
ready to
Max.
do that. But not
Listen,
only,
you
but
know
not
what good
only
organizations
that,
do?
They
No.
didn't get
Look,
the receiver
not
they
even listening.
wanted because they were so intent in drafting a guy who's not ready to quarterback a team,
Hey,
according
Max,
to you
Max,
guys.
Max Kellerman, were you in the Eagles draft room? Do you know what receiver they wanted? Because if you knew the Eagles offense, CeeDee Lamb, while great and is a better receiver than Rager, isn't what they needed. They needed vertical
Then why
speed.
were they
They
trying
were
to
one
trade
of
up?
the slowest teams in the NFL last year. So they wanted speed. They wanted Henry Ruggs. That's who they wanted, was the vertical speed. They didn't want CeeDee Lamb because he doesn't necessarily do the exact thing that they needed. Second of all, you know what good organizations do? They go, you know what? We want to upgrade our backup quarterback spot, which the Eagles did. But can we be creative and make sure that although we only get 53 guys on our roster, maybe there's a backup quarterback out there that we can develop that we can also use on game days to give us 54 guys on a roster that we can use in a +1 run game with quarterback reads or red zone, or maybe we'll put both our quarterbacks in Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts on the field at the same time. So on game day, it's not like we dress 48 guys. It's like we dress 49 guys. That's what good organizations do. So listen, you can sit here and think that this is... They also told Carson Wentz they were going to do this before the draft, Max. They told him. They told him, hey, if he's there, we want to do something like this, just so you know. Do you think that they were going to tell him, hey, just so you know, dude, we're going to draft a guy that we think is going to take over your job, even though you just led us to the playoffs last year?
Jalen Hurts
Clown.
repeatedly shown.
Clown. Grade A clown. Talking like you know what's going on and you don't have the slightest clue. What are you... Yo, bro.
He had trouble
Oh, my
accurately throwing the damn football. That's a fact. Now let's get to the NFL.
But that's the whole
No, I'm
point,
just
Stephen
asking-
A.
hold
Is
on.
people are still cut on that.
Keith, let me answer you, bro. You ain't going nowhere. You here. You here. Let me answer you. Now let's get to Jalen Hurts in the NFL. If I said to you in 4 starts, you completed 52% of your passes. You threw 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and your record was 1-3. I understand that there's more to it than that, but it's not beyond the realms of comprehension that somebody would look at him and say, okay, show me. So what's wrong with people? See, this is the problem, and this is what we're just like you, the football player, and I have to defer to you. This is the media, so I have to come to our defense to some degree, being the fact that I'm approaching 30 years up in this joint. Let's understand
I'm
something.
10 behind you.
That's about 10 behind me. That's true. But here's the deal. That's not hating. Stop that.
But she didn't say hating. She said disrespect.
That's not disrespectful. What's disrespectful about going like this, Key? Okay, this is your record, and on top of it all, you completed 52% of your passes. We know you're not a scrub. We know you could play. You belong in the NFL.
But it's all context
what's wrong
too,
with
though, Stephen
showing
A.
us, man?
Stephen A.
What's wrong with that?
Last year, you're thrust into the lineup.
Okay.
You have nobody. I don't even know who the receivers were a year ago.
That's true.
They were not very good.
That's right.
Okay. This year, they drafted Devontae Smith. They got Jalen Rigger. They got a nice running game. The offensive line is okay. It's different.
Right.
And you still acting like he's got to prove
Yes.
or else
They had people playing
Gardner
receiver that weren't
Minshew
even
is going to
receivers.
take over or something.
He has to prove it in terms of him being. Stop acting like it's being disrespectful for somebody to say, show us. That's not disrespectful.
But you ain't saying show to the other second and rookies and second-year quarterbacks.
Yeah, we are.
No, you're not.
Yes, we
no,
are.
No, you're not.
Who?
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Who we not doing?
Herbert?
No, you're not.
Where you been?
No, you're
Are you
not.
kidding me?
Herbert, Burrow, no, we're not saying it to them.
See?
Those are the
There go
second-year
Mullins.
quarterbacks.
Second-year quarterbacks. You ain't saying
I'm
about
saying
Herbert
we
and
don't-
Burrow.
Did you
Get
see
him.
Justin Herbert play last year?
Oh, I
and,
saw
what,
him.
and what about
He
Joe
played
Burrow
the other-
before he
but
got
I'm
hurt?
telling you,
Are
those are the
kidding
second-year
me?
guys.
But I'm
It's not
just
the same
saying,
page.
we ain't saying it.
Hold up. Because
saying
they
it.
showed us. We said it when
He
before
showed
they
So one
did.
game ain't good enough for you.
No.
And here's the thing, bro. One thing I noticed about Stephen A, he's very particular with the words that he chooses. Like, he tries not to come across as a hater, but there's just certain things where it's not hate coming from Stephen A, bro. It's just he doesn't measure every quarterback with the same ruling stick. You know what I'm saying? Same way Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert didn't have to prove that they were worth whatever they were getting or prove their status in their second year. Why does Jalen Hurts have to prove it? because he's a second-round pick? I mean, last time I remember, Brady got drafted in the 6th round. Number 199, if I'm not mistaken. I would think I'd know. Right? You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't necessarily matter what round you got selected in, bro. It's just they slept on him. I'm not going to say they, like, Stephen A. didn't necessarily hate, but he slept. And now if you look at television today, the same verbiage, the same language used to describe Jalen Hurts, it's not the same. Everybody knows flipped. Now they're like, oh, shoot, this boy could play. Oh, shoot, he's one game away from winning the Super Bowl. And if he wins the Super Bowl, I don't care what anybody tell me, bro. He done surpass Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, whoever you want to name. He's neck and neck with Mahomes. And you can make the argument that he probably slide ahead of Mahomes because he beat him head to head. Granted, Mahomes got all them accolades, but we know what he represents. At the end of the day, he about to be top 5, whether you like it or not. He about to be top 5. And all this doubt talking about Carson Wentz, this is why you can't listen to these, bro. This is why you can't listen to everything these guys say. They're just personalities. They can't predict the future no better than you. But they want to sit here and they act like they know what's going to happen before it happened. Cut the cap. Cut the cap, man. Can't wait to see the Super Bowl. Can't wait to see what's going to happen. Can't wait to see the highlights and the reactions. Man, we're about a couple of days away, man. But they've been hating on this kid from a youngin', and now they're forced to respect this game. They're forced to respect this game, bro. And sometimes it's not even a quarterback. Sometimes it's the system. Give him some pieces. Put him in an offense that he's familiar with, a la Lamar Jackson, and you'll be surprised what you get. Look at what the Eagles have done. Great management, great coaching, bro. Can't say nothing about it, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I rock with you if you rock with me. It's your boy Gabos. We back with another one. My bow, man.